ever played football or watched football. Okay, there are 4 quarters in a football game. Just as there are 4 quarters in a football game, there are 4 quarters in a moon cycle. The first quarter looks like a half moon, so you would color in half of the picture. The next phase has a silly name. It's called the waxing gibbous. Do you remember what waxing means?
To build up.
Yep, to grow. That's right. Now, looking at this picture and using your previous knowledge of what crescent means, remember crescent means less than half. What do you think gibbous means?
More than half.
Yes, that's right. Way to use your schema, Serena. So waxing gibbous means that it's growing still and that it's more than half. So far, we have the new moon, the waxing crescent, the first quarter, and the waxing gibbous. So that's 4 phases. Okay. So we are already halfway through the 8 stages. So there's only 4 more left. And it actually gets easier now. The next phase is the 5th phase. And I'm pretty sure you've all seen this at night. Have you guys seen this before? It's called the full moon, and that's when you see the whole moon.
So we don't get to color that circle?
That's right.
Because it's all white.
Mm-hmm.
So the new moon there's no moon.
Yep, you can't see any of it. But you can see the whole moon here. You guys are catching on very fast. I'm very impressed. So the rest of the phases will be easy from here on out because you've nearly learned half of the phases. The next phase is called the waning gibbous. Now, I know it was a long time ago, but what does gibbous mean? Do you remember?
More than half.
Yes. Okay. But wait, haven't we had this phase before? I mean, it kind of looks like this, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but your light and your dark is different.
That's right. So, the way I like to think of it is that the moon, starting from the new moon, begins to grow in size, right? Up until the full moon. After the full moon, it begins to shrink in size.
The white part grows or the dark part grows?
The white part grows. See, there's no white part. A little white part. Half of a white part. More than half of a white part. All white part.
Mm-hmm.
And now, it's about half. A little more than half of the white part showing. Do you see how it's shrinking again?
So your gibbouses, both of them have bigger white parts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But the difference is where the black part is. So the moon is growing here, and now it's beginning to shrink.
So that means if the moon is curved this way or this way, that's what sometimes the moon is curved this way, and sometimes the moon is curved this way.
Mm-hmm. So when it's curved this way, it's growing. When it's curved this way, it's shrinking.
Oh.
Yes. So in a way, if we're still using the football reference, the full moon is halftime. So it grows until halftime. Once it reaches halftime, it begins to shrink.
Okay.
Kind of confusing, I understand. Okay. There are only 2 phases left. The last phase is the second to last phase marks the 3rd quarter. So you can name this either the last quarter or the 3rd quarter. And this is similar from the other half moon, except the other half of the moon is showing. And finally, the last phase is called the waning crescent. Now, remember, waxing means growing, so waning means
Shrinking.
that's right. And a crescent looks like a crescent roll. That's okay. This is just a practice worksheet, and then you'll get some time to do your own worksheet. So let's go through and say the phases together. Okay, ready? We start. New moon, waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent. That's right. So those are the 8 phases of the moon. And after you go through all 8 phases, it starts over again. So let's see how well you were listening. First, everyone turn over their papers. Okay. Now this is your chart with all the different names of the phases on it. Now I'm going to give you 8 circles of the moon. And you'll have some tape, and you'll have to match each phase to the name. If you have questions, feel free to ask.
Sometimes you can turn it.
That's true. But if you turn both of them, then they won't be the same. So remember, waxing is growing, and waning is shrinking. And gibbous means more than half, and waxing means less than half. I mean, gibbous crescent means less than half. Okay, time is almost up, but I just want to thank you all for being such good listeners and being so patient as we're learning the phases of the moon. Who knew that there were so many names for all the different phases of the moon? So next time you go outside at night, take a look at the moon and try to remember what phase the moon is on. You can impress your parents by using the new vocabulary you learned, such as waxing crescent or waning gibbous. So I want to thank you all for being such attentive learners today. It is a joy to work with you.